Welcome everyone to another video, and today we are tackling Exceed. Okay, Street Fighter Exceed. Now you might be wondering, yet another game, Andy. If anyone knows me, they know I like to keep busy and I really value my time. So I like to get the best bang for my buck out of a game, because if I'm going to spend the time doing it, I want to get the most enjoyment out of it. I learnt the rules to Exceed. I decided to sit down after having it for a little while and play it out. You know what? I was instantly hooked. I cannot get enough of this game, and it's not just because of the Street Fighter theme. I have to admit that's a big part of it. But then again, if the game wasn't any good, I would have just put it to the side and yeah, it's a great game. But this I want to keep playing, and I want to put the music on, and anyone that's played it with me has thoroughly enjoyed it, even asking for a round 2 or a round 3. So I really just wanted to take this time to do a video to introduce people to Exceed. I'm going to be opening up play sessions for this on a weekly basis, and whenever anyone's in, I'm going to hassle you if you come into the store for a game, because like I said, I can't get enough. And yeah, I'm going to start running little mini tournaments with it. I've got 12 characters and might even do a random roll for everyone selecting a character and doing a big fight off. So yeah. Alright, so today I'm going to concentrate on the format of the cards. We're not going to go into the playstyle of the game. That will be another video, and then I'll tackle each of the individual characters. All I'm going to do is go through the structure of the cards and what they are, so then you understand that for the next video, okay? So first of all, we have the fighter card, the leader. This one's Ken, obviously. Now in this, what's important is that he's got another side as well, and that's when he, we'll just say EX evolves, okay? So very much he's got an ability here, which will be in-game text, and he's also got 2 symbols just over here, okay? The first one is a critical, and he pays 1 for criticals. So when he plays a card, he's got the option to make it a critical attack, which will give other bonuses, and that costs him 1 to do a critical. And then the other one, which is the square with the number 3 in it that you see there, that's for him to flip over to this side, giving him more abilities down here. And that costs him 3, but it's not just 3 energy, it's 3 gauge, what we call gauge. And I'm going to go into that as well. So there is paying for stuff with like energy, and then there's gauge, which can be used for energy as well. So every card is worth 1 energy, let's just say, if you need to throw it out. Unless it's a red card, in which it's worth 2. Okay? So it's a simple thing to remember. Black cards are 1, red cards are 2. Every deck has the same generic cards, and then every deck also has about 13, I believe, and I'll go through that in the next video, cards which are specific to that character. Or it might be 13 generic cards, I'm not sure which way it is yet. But when I do the count for the next video, we'll see about that. Now, every attack card, so in this game, every turn you're doing something and you can do something with the card. So it's not something that you're like, oh, what do I do type thing. So every attack has a range, as you can see on that. In blue, it's 1. So if the opponent is 1 square away, and then you've got other ones with 1 to 2. And then you've got other ones which, oh, I just found one. Look at that, 3 to 6 for the Hadouken. Yeah? So if someone's at range 1 or 2, that will not hit. If someone's at range 3, let's just say, on a 1 to 2, that's not going to hit either. But in close it will. Alright? So let's just keep on this card. In red, you've got the power. That's how much damage you're going to do to the opponent. Okay? Speed is on this card 2. Now when you place a card down, you compare speeds, and whoever's attack is fastest goes first, and that's very important for the next things that we're going to see. Alright, not all cards have the next ones, but armor in purple, as you can see here, is 2. So when you damage someone, imagine you damage someone with a focus card like this. They're doing 4 damage. You would take 2 of that damage off for armor, thereby suffering 2 damage yourself. Okay, so that's how armor comes into it. And then finally, you've got guard, that green one down the bottom there, if it's showing up or not. And guard is the ability not to get stunned. So if you take 4 points of damage, let's just say, and you have 2 points of armor, you're taking 2 damage. Now, if you've got no guard, then you are stunned. But if you've got guard of 2 or more, then you are not stunned. It's when the damage that's left over, or any damage that you take, goes over your guard, then you are stunned. But if it's under your guard, if your card has guard, then you are able to attack back. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So a basic card is made up of everything at the top of it and then the yellow portion down the bottom. So every card is effectively 2 cards, okay? This is the attack, and this is what we call a boost. In your turn, you can do an attack or a boost or a range of other options such as drawing cards or moving. But in the attack has all the text that you need for the attack. I know that's kind of blurry, guys, I'm so sorry about that. Got to get a better camera for this type of stuff. And the attack will have everything that you need to know in regards to what it does, as well as any critical effects for if you use your critical with your character. Now the boost, if I was to take this card and play it as a boost and not as an attack, it might give me some other details. So this knee bash here, if I was to play it as a boost, would be now draw 2 cards, and then after the next attack hit, I would gain advantage, which means I get to go on the next turn again, even if it was my turn that round. Okay, so boost cards stay in play, or they're used and they go straight to the discard pile, or some of those boosts may go straight to your gauge, which I'll get onto next. Okay, so you would play a card either as a boost or do some other actions and you draw at the end of your turn, or you spend the action doing an attack, thereby forcing the opponent to respond with their own attack and use up all of their boosts that are on the table as well. A very good way to get rid of boosts, because once you attack, all the boosts that have a hit action on it all come into play. So if you've got an opponent that keeps boosting and keeps building up their next attack, you might not like that. You might have a range attack and you might play that, thereby forcing them to use all their boosts on their next attack. Alright, I hope I have got you still along. Alright, that's pretty much all there is to these cards. The boost at the bottom also has a cost down there. You'll see it's 0. Many of them are zeros. The red cards and maybe some others might have a 1 cost there. You can pay that through your hand or through your gauge. And the gauge, so let's get onto that. Every time you hit with an attack and that you're not stunned and your attack's thrown away, but every time your attack hits, doesn't matter about the damage, their armor or anything, every time it hits, it goes in your gauge. And that's when you're playing Street Fighter, your track that's building up to do a special. Once you get that up to a certain level, you might be able to play some of your red cards, okay? Now red cards have a cost up the top. On that one, you can see it has 3. I cannot say the name of this one. Guren Senpuyaku. I just tried it. Shinruken, okay, has a cost of 4. So you need to have gauge built up. Now, you will have built up your gauge through boosting, which some cards in your boost allow it to go to the gauge, or you will have had to have done 4 successful normal attacks to build up that gauge in order to do one of your massive moves, yeah? So remember, gauge can be used to flip your character over to give more abilities, And note that the gauge is used. It's gone once you used it, and then you need to build up in order to get your special attacks. You might not ever evolve, okay? You might stay on this side and just pump the opponent with a whole bunch of your red attacks and normal attacks. Now, I've been down in games like you get 30 life, and I've been 14 to 1, I think, and I've come back. It's really like the game where you're on that little bar of 1 and you know that one more hit you're done for. Even a block is going to be done, but I've come back with some magnificent attacks because I stun the opponent with certain attacks, and they've been great games. So good that the opponent has usually asked for a round 2 or round 3. So yeah, that's just an intro, okay? An intro to Street Fighter Exceed. I even got my backs on them. Pretty proud of that. I went looking for Street Fighter sleeves. Very hard to find. And unfortunately, I don't have any in the store, but I can help people find them. It's just, you'd be cheaper just to go out and buy them for me to get them in to charge you an incredible price. So that is it. Like I said, I've got 12 fighters. I'm going to be setting up some play sessions, learn to plays for this, as well as tournaments. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to go through some gameplay to show you how those cards function within the game and why it's such a great game. See you all.